Hi, I'm Carla, a photographer based in Wivenhoe. Welcome to my colourful, magical and very varied world. The main part of my business is Carla Watkins Visual Magic Maker, where I'm a brand photographer working with colourful magical weirdos, a bit like me, to bring their businesses to life. So I help to make marketing much easier and to take the fear out of being visible. And I do this by creating a bespoke photo library which really reflects you and your passion and your purpose and shows your clients what working with you is really like. I'm also an art photographer over at Carla Watkins Photography, and that's where my imagination gets to run wild. I shoot mermaids, boudoir and fairy tales, and I've turned this studio in Ardleigh and the whole of the Essex countryside and coastline into my playground. While I'm mainly a photographer, I'm also a multipod, my word for someone who thrives on multiple things. Alongside photography, I am half of Inkdrop's stationery subscription boxes, I'm a quarter of Tempered Chocolate, which is a family chocolate firm in Malden, and I am half of the Creative Reboot podcast. Is there an average day on my business? No, I don't think so. There's too much going on and every day is different, but I am always happiest with a camera in my hand. I'm not really a studio photographer. I love working out and about with my clients in their spaces or out on location or outdoors for my own shoots. But Studio 19 is a perfect place for meeting people, for designing, dreaming, plotting, prop making, set building, and I do also take some of the photos here for the composites that I do. I'll take you on a quick tour. So you've seen my desk, although clearly I'm not sitting at it anymore. And if I just come back a little bit, you'll see my reception area, which is where I meet people, and my sketchbook in the middle there. I quite often sit there and dream. These are my two favourite chairs in the world, my velvet blue chair and my beloved chaise longue, which is a bit hidden by mermaid cushions. So this is where all my tools and materials and props and costumes and all kinds of things are stored. That screen is conveniently hiding some slightly less well organised bits and pieces. So moving across to here, this is my main shoot space. So you can see I've got some big lights there. There's a heater in case my models get cold or I get cold. Up here I've got my big backdrop rolls, and there will be a colourful one on there shortly. And then there's the big black and white. So I do love to shoot against black when I can, and so I keep the pop-up backdrop there as well. Moving slightly further round, I have got some technical equipment going on there, and again props, stools, spare bulbs, lights, all kinds of bits and pieces. And then moving across, this is my favourite part of my studio, is my costumes and my tails. It is a working space, there are boxes everywhere, it's not a particularly display space, but this is where I keep my tails, and also where I keep all my costumes for things I'm currently working on or things that I'm planning to shoot. I got into brand photography because with a previous career in marketing and web content, I have seen some truly terrible photographs representing some properly brilliant small businesses, and that seemed a real shame to me because your first impression, or rather your client's first impression, is so often digital and is so often visual. And yeah, I kind of wanted to fix that. I was already shooting boudoir and making women feel amazing and confident in the skin that they were in, and it seemed a really natural progression for me to combine those skills. So photography skills, obviously, and putting people at ease, which is arguably equally as important as the photography skills, and a total obsession with small businesses. I love small businesses, I love entrepreneurship. And so bringing all of those together with an ability to tell stories is how my brand photography came to life. My advice, if you want to become a photographer, it's an industry you want to get into, is that it's wonderful, definitely do that. It's harder work than it looks, but it's worth every moment of it. Shoot what you love, don't be swayed by anybody else, shoot what really lights you up, and you can absolutely specialise in more than one thing. I would say show what you want to shoot more of. Don't be afraid of lifelong learning. We all have things to learn all the way through our careers. It's one of the great joys of having a creative career. So always be looking for the next thing that you can learn and add to your skill set and see if it's something that you like. I think one of my biggest obstacles was initially trying to please all of the people and be all things to all people. And that isn't a recipe for success in business because you end up being a bit bland. Oh, hi. I promise I did not bribe the cat to do this, but against a lot of the business advice I've had, I've since then learned that if you relax and you relax into who you actually are, and you talk about the things that you love and that light you up, and you show things like your cats in your business, that you will attract the people who resonate most with you, and you'll find your most ideal clients and you'll have the best time. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope you've enjoyed your little peek behind the scenes at my slightly crazy world. I'd love to stay in touch. You can find me online at carlawatkins.com and Catalyst Carla on socials for the brand photography, and carlawatkinsphotography.com and at Carla W Photo for the fine art and fairy tales. And I will say no more except stay colourful, stay magical and stay weird.